It is high time you understand this. We're already more than halfway through the year. Your time is limited and your preparation needs to be perfect. Imagine you go over studying physics over and over again and then you find yourself struggling in a problem like this. Irritating, isn't it? But with the help of these 3 tips that I'm going to share with you today, you'll be able to solve any physics numericals that you come across. The last tip is what got me my 9.91 GPA in my college. Let's get going. Simple thing. Whenever you sit and try and solve a question, visualize it. Let's do it with an example. This is a free body diagram that you see that I've taken from a research paper where they were trying to introduce an electric car. You see that the car is moving up the slope. The velocity is pointing upwards. You see two forces pointing downwards. Let's assume one to be gravity, one could be friction. But what is exactly causing the car to move downwards? Is it just gravity, just friction, both? How much of it is acting? To know all of that, first you need to see it in your mind's eye. You need to visualize the slope. You need to visualize the car going up. You need to visualize what could be acting on the car that could cause it to maybe go downwards. For any physics question, the first step is to always visualize. After you visualize the situation, what do you do next? Well, what are the laws that are acting on this particular car? What are those laws of physics? Under what conditions will the car move down? Under what conditions will it stay stationary? Under what conditions will it go upwards? If I tell you that the car's mass is 200 kgs and the power output of this battery that is driving the electric car is 50 kilowatt, do you think it's enough for the car to go up when it's on a smooth surface? How will that force that is generated by the battery relate to the other forces that you can see in the free body diagram? Understand, relate concepts. This can only happen when you visualize it properly. Finally, and this is what got me my 9.91 GPA in college, my method to solve any physics questions, simply put, is this. If our question was to find whether the battery output of the car was enough to climb the slope or not, what would my roadmap look like? Now, pause the video and try and answer this question for yourself. I have given some value so that you're able to solve it properly. So you can see I've given the angle of the slope being 45 degrees, I've given the power output, I've given the distance that the car covers, that's 10 meters. You've been given the power, you calculate the work in that instant. The force you can calculate from the work because you've been given the displacement. So in that instant, the force that the battery is generating for the car to move upwards will of course be equal to the gravitational force, particularly the horizontal component. So you have a cos alpha. So when you equate this, why will you equate this? Because it's the Newton's third law of motion. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Because of that, you equate it now and solve. If your equation stands true, that means the force is exactly equal to the gravitational force. That is a minimum amount of force required for the car to move upwards. That means the battery power is enough. If your if the force generated by the battery, which I've labeled as Fc, is greater than the gravitational force, definitely the battery power is enough. But if it is less, then the battery power is not enough. This is a basic roadmap that I've created. So for any question, you need to know what steps you're going to be taking to be able to solve it. The mathematics part is the tedious part, I agree. But to know what math you need to use, to know what steps you need to figure out, you need to lay them out clearly, and that is what I do with a roadmap like this. So for any question you're given, even the first question that we had looked into when I was trying to pose my point, it had so many different concepts. So to understand what to solve, how to solve, create these roadmaps for each and every question, that saves time, saves efforts. This will help you solve any physics question. But if you want help in solving any organic chemistry question, check this out. With this, thank you and happy learning.